Hello everyone. Today I'm just going to be introducing you to the layers palette and the tool palette, and if there's time, the effects palette. We'll probably be doing this in the next class as well. But what I did is I went up to File. I opened up Photoshop by simply going to All Programs. Opened up Photoshop, and it came up with this, and then I go File. I'm going to drag in another image. So let's see. Well, I'll go to I go up to File, Open, go to where I'm storing my images, and let's try this. Click this image and I'll go Open, and it opens up a second document, Photoshop document, because I have the Photoshop program open. I'm going to go over the tool palette. This is your tool palette, and if you go over each tool and wait for a second or so, it'll tell you what it is. It'll describe it. In this case, I'm going to go to the Move tool, because what I want to do is I want to drag this image into the original image, into the oops, I did not save this, so I'll go File, Save As. I'll call it Untitled 1. You want to save it to wherever you need to save it, like your personal folder or the desktop or whatnot, but somewhere I can see it. So okay, we go back to File, Open. I'll go back to that image, wherever it is. Okay, here we go. I click on it, Open. Okay, so now it opens up the second Photoshop document. Actually, go here. What happens is, on the original, when you open up an original image, it comes up with a base layer, and it's kind of a safety net in case you mess up. So if you click on the layer and drag it up to this little, like what looks like a rectangle with a folded edge, it'll duplicate the layer, and it will allow you to drag this image into the other Photoshop image. Okay, this is good. Now I can go through the tools. I can actually cut away pieces. Magnifying glass. You click on a magnifying glass, and it brings the image larger. But if I go Control minus, it'll bring me back to where I need to be. So you can see the whole image all together. Hand tool just allows me to. It's supposed to allow me to move this around. Well, let's go to the eyedropper tool. Anywhere I click with the eyedropper, it takes a color sample of the image. The marquee tool. There's a little black arrows in the lower right corner of each, some of the tools, and if I click and hold, I can get a circle, I can get an ellipse or a rectangle. And let's just, I still got the rectangle. Okay, so what I can do here is actually I can go up to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and now you can see down in the Layers palette it made a third layer. And you can do this with any image. And by looking at this right now, you can't see it. But if I go back up to the Move tool, there it is. You know, the part that I just selected. We can do the same thing with a polygonal lasso tool, but if I sit and hold that, I can use the, you know, what looks like a real lasso. I can go up to File, or Edit, Copy. Whoops. I'm on the wrong layer. It depends. Whatever layer, you can see this layer is grayed out. That means it's the active layer. But if I go to the layer that has the full picture, you see the marquee, or what we call them marching ants. I can go back up to, you need to be, you know, whatever layer you're working on, that's the layer that needs to be highlighted. I can simply just like click on every layer. I can turn the eye on, off, turn it back on each one. See? Okay, so let's go back to the full image, and we'll go up to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, and again, another layer it has developed. I'll go back up to the Move tool, and we have that. Polygon tool, we're going to be using this tool a lot in the upcoming assignment. So I can click, 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 and click. Double click to close it. You know, when you start a selection, it has to end at that selection. So I can go Edit, Copy, or in this case I'll, Control Z. Oh, you know, if this happens, you just hit Escape, and it goes back to what I originally made. If I go Control C, oh, I'm not on the right layer. You notice that message will come up if you're not working on the right layer. So if I go do Control C, Control V, okay, nothing happened, right? But there it is. Okay, so now we have the magic wand. We'll be using this a lot as well. Whoop. I'm not on the right layer again, so it selected the whole thing. So let's go back to the full picture. Control D, just get rid of that. And I will double click. You have tolerance up here, which allows you to take more than, you know, just one pixel. If I went and typed in 10, if I typed in 10 and then I went back to the magic wand, it selects less. So the higher the number, the more it selects. The other tool we'll use is the Type tool, possibly. When we click on the Type tool, it gives you a selection of, you know, stacking letters on top of one another or horizontally. We will not be getting into masks on this, so we'll just go to Horizontal Type tool. Click in the picture. It makes its own layer once you go to type, and I'll just go hello. And it generally, when it types the letters, it types according to the color chips that are down in the color tool palette down here. And if you double click on that, we'll just click OK. I selected purple. This is a front square and a back square, and I can flip them back and forth. Or I can just go to the, you know, default colors of black and white. And if I want a color, I'll go back to the purple and go OK, and go back to the type tool, and I'll type in hello. Let's see. I'll type in hello. Let's see what's happening here. We are, if I click on a layer, I can see a little trash can. I can just get rid of it. I can get rid of a lot of these things. Everything but the main image. So let's try something else here. Okay, we'll choose red, and I'll go back to the type tool, and you can see that it's very small, but I can always make it bigger by going up here and adjusting the size. We'll do 72. We'll go, okay, again, it doesn't give you anything other than italic. And there it is. You've got, you can type in your letters, and as long as you have whatever the color is down in the color tool palette, that's what it's going to type. In order to change that color, I got to highlight those letters by clicking and dragging across like in a Word document, double clicking on the color tool, and we'll go yellow, and I click away from it and it becomes yellow. One thing to remember is that whenever you're typing, the layer, it makes its own layer when you click on your document, but you can't do anything with it other than changing the color unless you go up to these little black double arrows up here on the upper right in the layers palette and go to simplify a layer. So now these letters are manageable and you can make all kinds of changes. So if I go back up to the move tool, I can extend them out, make them larger, distort them, whatever you want. I can actually, turn them around. And there's a mechanism up here called transform that gives you another few options. But that's about it for now, except that we're going to be probably using the rubber stamp tool. Once I go to the move tool and transform it, I have to make sure I hit the enter key. Release that bounding box. Now I'm going to go down to the rubber stamp tool. As long as I'm in the layer of the letters, I can actually, when I click on the rubber stamp, I can adjust the size. I'll make it larger, so make not that large. Not that large. And then I go over, this is like the tip of a pencil, the size of the tip of the pencil or brush, whatever you're using, and place it over that. And if I hold the Alt key, you'll see a little like bullseye pop up. And if I Alt key and click, it makes a sample. And I move let's try this. I adjust the pressure. Let's see, Control